Shattered cup.
A Zen master received a beautifully crafted crystal cup as a gift from a former student. He was deeply grateful and cherished the cup, using it every day. He would proudly show it to visitors and speak of his students' kindness. Yet each morning, he held the cup for a brief moment and reminded himself, "This cup is already broken." One day, a careless visitor accidentally knocked the cup from its shelf. It crashed to the floor, shattering into countless tiny fragments. While the other guests gasped in shock, the Zen master remained calm. Observing the scattered pieces before him, he simply said, "Ah, yes, let's begin." Then he picked up a broom and started sweeping.
The bowl.
A monk told Zen master, "I have just entered the monastery. Please teach me." Zen master asked, "Have you eaten your rice porridge?" The monk replied, "I have eaten." The Zen master said, "Then you had better wash your bowl." At that moment, the monk was enlightened.
The Coffins Lesson.
A farmer grew old and could no longer work in the fields. Instead, he spent his days sitting quietly on the porch. His son, who toiled endlessly to keep the farm running, would glance up and see his father sitting there, doing nothing. Frustration built up in the son's heart. "He's useless now," he thought, "just sitting there all day." Unable to bear it any longer, he crafted a wooden coffin, dragged it to the porch, and told his father to get inside. Without resistance, the old man climbed in. The son shut the lid and dragged the coffin toward the edge of a steep cliff. As he neared the edge, he suddenly heard a gentle tapping from within the coffin. Pausing, he opened the lid. His father lay there, serene and untroubled, looking up at him. "I know you're about to throw me over," he said calmly. "But before you do, may I offer a suggestion?" "What is it?" the son asked. "If you're set on tossing me off the cliff, that's your choice," the old man said. "But keep this fine wooden coffin. Your own children might need it someday."
The silence that spoke.
4 close friends, all students of the Tendai school, made a solemn pact to observe 7 days of complete silence as part of their meditation practice. On the first day, their vow remained unbroken, and the meditation went smoothly. However, as night fell, the oil lamps in their room began to flicker and dim. Unable to hold back, one student called out to a servant, "Fix those lamps." The second student, startled by the sudden break in silence, immediately rebuked him. "We are not supposed to speak." Hearing this, the third student became frustrated. "You fools! Now 2 of you have spoken!" Finally, the fourth student smirked and declared with self-satisfaction, "I am the only one who has remained silent." Thus, in their eagerness to point out each other's mistakes, all 4 had unwittingly broken their vow.
The monkey's trap.
Wise teacher led his students deep into the forest, stopping in a quiet clearing where wild monkeys roamed. There, he placed a hollow gourd with a narrow opening, filling it with sweetened rice, an irresistible treat for the monkeys. Securing the gourd to a stake, he gestured for his pupils to watch and wait. Soon enough, a large monkey approached, sniffing the delicious scent. Without hesitation, it thrust its paw into the gourd, grabbing a handful of rice. But when it tried to withdraw its paw, it found itself trapped. The fist it had made was too large for the narrow opening. Frustration turned into desperate screeches as the monkey struggled, unwilling to let go of the prized rice. The forest answered with a silent menace. A leopard appeared, drawn by the commotion. Seeing its opportunity, the predator crept closer, ready to strike. "Let go! Run!" the students cried out in alarm, but the monkey refused to release its grip. The leopard lunged, and in an instant, the monkey was caught. The clearing fell silent. The teacher turned to his students, his voice calm. "What was the true trap?" he asked. "Was it the rice?" suggested one student. "The gourd," another guessed. The teacher shook his head. "No," he said, "the trap was greed."
The town through their eyes.
2 travelers arrived at a Zen master's home, each seeking guidance about moving to the town. The first traveler stepped forward. "Master, I am considering settling here. What is this town like?" The Zen master, calm and thoughtful, asked, "What was your old town like?" The traveler scoffed. "It was terrible. The people were cruel, the streets unfriendly. I hated living there." The Zen master nodded slowly. "This town is much the same. Perhaps it would not suit you." The traveler frowned, thanked the master, and left. Then, the second traveler approached. "Master, I am thinking of moving here. What is this town like?" Again, the Zen master posed the same question. "What was your old town like?" The second traveler smiled. "It was wonderful. People were kind, and I enjoyed my time there. I simply seek a change." The Zen master's eyes gleamed with understanding. "This town is much the same. I think you will feel at home here." The traveler bowed in gratitude and walked away, eager for his new journey. The Zen master sighed gently, watching the paths they each took. For he knew, wherever they went, they would always find what they carried within themselves.
The paradox of mastery.
A young martial arts student filled with enthusiasm and determination approached his master one evening, bowing deeply before speaking. "Master," he said earnestly, "I am devoted to studying your martial system. I want to learn everything there is to know. How long will it take for me to master it?" The master, a calm and weathered man who had seen many eager students before, barely looked up from the tea he was pouring. His answer was simple and direct. 10 years. The student flinched. A decade seemed far too long. His heart was set on mastering the art as quickly as possible. "What if I train harder?" he asked, the urgency clear in his voice. "I will dedicate every waking hour to practice. I will train from dawn until midnight, without rest if I must. Surely that would speed up the process. How long will it take then?" The master finally looked up, meeting the student's eager gaze with a knowing smile. He paused, letting the silence stretch between them before giving his reply. 20 years. The student's jaw tightened, confusion flashing in his eyes. "But how can that be?" he asked. "If I work twice as hard, shouldn't I learn twice as fast?" The master set his cup down gently, nodding toward the training grounds. "When you fixate on speed, you are no longer truly learning. Your impatience will blind you to understanding. Mastery is not achieved through mere effort, but through balance, patience, and presence. The more you rush, the more your mind is cluttered with urgency, and the longer it will take." The student stood still, the words sinking in like stones dropped into a still pond. His breath, once hurried, began to slow, and from that moment, he understood. Mastery is not measured by how much effort one exerts, but by how deeply one absorbs the lessons.
The Buddha in our home.
A young man left his parents behind and set out on a journey to find a spiritual master. Along the way, he encountered a Zen master and eagerly shared his desire to excel in spirituality. Instead of searching for some other master, why not meet the Buddha himself? The Zen master suggested. The young man was stunned. "The Buddha? Where can I find him?" he asked, excitement and urgency in his voice. The master smiled knowingly. "When you return home, a person will greet you at the door. They will have a shawl draped over their shoulders and will be changing their footwear. That person is the Buddha." Filled with anticipation, the young man hurried back to his home. As he arrived, his mother, rushing to welcome him, opened the door. She was adjusting her footwear and had a shawl wrapped around her shoulders.
A Thieves Test.
The son of a skilled thief once asked his father to teach him the secrets of their trade. His father, experienced and wise, agreed and said, "Tonight, I will teach you how to steal from a large house in the nearby town." Late at night, when everyone in the house was fast asleep, the thief secretly led his young son inside. He pointed to a small storage room where clothes were kept and instructed him, "Go inside and bring back some clothes." As soon as the boy stepped into the room, the father swiftly pulled the door shut and locked it from the outside. Without hesitation, he rushed to the front door and knocked loudly, making enough noise to wake everyone in the house. Before anyone could spot him, he quickly fled. Hearing the commotion, the household members woke up in alarm. The mistress of the house handed a servant a lamp and told her, "Something is making noise in the upstairs storage room. Go and check." Inside the locked room, the boy felt terror creeping through his body. He had never experienced such fear before. As he heard footsteps approaching, he instinctively started meowing like a cat. Thinking that a cat was trapped inside, the servant opened the door. In a flash, the boy dashed out, knocked the lamp from her hand, and ran toward the unlocked front door. The servant screamed, "Thief! Thief!" and the household members rushed outside, chasing the boy. He ran as fast as he could, desperate to escape. A short distance away, he spotted a well. Without hesitation, he removed his shirt and threw it inside, followed by a large stone. Then he quickly hid in the nearby bushes. The pursuers arrived at the well and heard the splash, assuming the thief had fallen inside. They peered into the depths, shining their lamp, trying to confirm their suspicions. Seizing the opportunity, the boy quietly slipped away. After an hour, drenched in sweat and exhausted, he finally reached home. Though tired, frustration surged within him, and he shouted, "Father, why did you lock me in that storage room? I was consumed by fear. I thought I would be caught. If I hadn't used my wits and every ounce of my strength, I wouldn't have escaped." His father, smiling knowingly, replied, "Son, today you have learned the first lesson of the art of thievery."
Savor the moment.
The Zen master walked through the forest, each step steady, each breath calm. The whisper of leaves and the murmur of the wind made the world seem at peace, until the sudden guttural growl shattered the serenity. A tiger, ferocious, hungry, its golden eyes locked onto him with predatory intent. The master backed away, his mind unwavering even as his feet carried him to the edge of a steep cliff. He glanced down, jagged rocks far below. Escape seemed impossible. The tiger advanced. The only refuge was a vine growing at the precipice. Without hesitation, he grasped it and lowered himself over the abyss. Suspended in the air, safe only for a moment, he exhaled slowly. Then, movement. Two tiny creatures, one white, one black, emerged from the shadows and began gnawing at the vine. Time ticked away in their bites. If he climbed up, the tiger would devour him. If he remained, the vine would soon break. Either way, death awaited. Just then, his eyes caught something extraordinary. A single wild strawberry, radiant in the sunlight, nestled along the cliff's edge. Vibrant red, full of life. He reached out, plucked it gently, and placed it in his mouth. "How sweet it tastes," he murmured, savoring its exquisite flavor.
The vanishing ghost.
A devoted husband mourned his wife who, on her deathbed, made him promise never to love another woman, warning that she would return to haunt him if he did. For months, he honored her wish, but eventually he fell in love again and became engaged. On the night of his engagement, the ghost of his late wife appeared, furious that he had broken his promise. Night after night, she haunted him, recounting his every action and conversation with his fiancée in perfect detail. Unable to find peace, the man sought wisdom from a Zen master. The master listened and acknowledged the ghost's cleverness. Then, he offered the man a way to challenge it. That night, when the spirit appeared again, the man praised its wisdom and declared that he would give up his engagement if it could answer just one question. The ghost agreed. He then scooped up a handful of beans and asked, "Tell me exactly how many are in my hand." Unable to answer, the ghost vanished forever. In that moment, the man realized that the spirit's power lay in his own belief in its omniscience, and by exposing its limits, he freed himself.